Hey, this is Mark with Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi. With fall upon us here and, kids are going back to school, you can always expect the Monroe Pop Fest to be here to blow away your sorrows. And we have a special guest with us today. We have Gary Paulette. He's the showrunner of the Monroe Pop Fest. So, hi, Gary.
Hey, how you doing, Mark? Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Hey, tell us a little bit, how did this all get started for you?
2013, we went to a bigger show. Me and my son had a good time, spent way too much money, and figured that we could do something like this on a smaller scale for more affordable, for fans. It'd be a more affordable option for them. And I think we've done a pretty good job of it. We've kept our prices under $15. We've had 30 guests this year, so I think we've done a good job, and it's a lot of fun. The first year we did it was just for charity only, and we raised some money for an autistic child locally. And then after that, kind of got bigger and bigger and more demand for it. So, and we still kept our prices, $15.
So this is the 11th year of this show. How does that make you feel that you were able to take it this long? A lot of shows don't last as long as these.
Well, we didn't expect to, honestly. We just thought it'd be fun, and I know it just keeps happening every year. People want it to come back, and I still want to do it, so we do it. It's a lot of fun. It's nerve-wracking. I know nerves are setting in right now because I know it's next week already, and all the preparation. You hope you did enough. Just little things that go through your mind, and we'll find out next week.
So, just to give us a little shout out about some of the people that help support your show, any your friends, family, we might employ that helps you do what you do.
It's definitely a family show. Family comes day of and sponsors, and not sponsors, but helps out, runs the front for us, volunteers. Throughout the year we have some good volunteers that help us out, passing out flyers and stuff, but everything else basically runs through me. So
what made you decide you wanted to do it in Monroe, and specifically at the Expo Center by the fairgrounds?
Well, it's hometown. We want to do it for our hometown. I do a lot of things here. We've done sports card shows, charity shows, comedy shows, professional wrestling. And the main thing is always for our hometown, Monroe. That's where I'm born. It's where I'm raised. It's where my kids are. So that's where our family is. So everything we do, we keep it here. We've had, offers to go other places and asked to run other Comic-Cons, different places and different shows. And I don't know, it's not the same when it's not in your hometown.
Do you think it's ever going to get to a point where you're going to outgrow that venue?
I can't. There's no bigger venue in Monroe, so this is it.
You might have to talk them into increasing the size of the venue.
Right. I have some ideas for them, but I don't know if they're going to want to spend the money.
You might have to take over the fairgrounds.
Yeah, well, that's why we moved outside a couple years ago. I think we had 30 plus vendors outside last year, and we're scheduled to have about 30, 40 vendors outside again this year. So,
that's what kind of makes it a little different from a lot of the other cons, is you do have that outdoor feeling out there, with all the vendors outside, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's something different. We do our cosplay contests outside. We have the stage, where we're going to actually turn it around this year. We're going to have a cornhole competition going on out there this year. We got several food trucks, and the Ghostbusters will be there. We got Scooby-Doo, Mystery Machine to be there. So that's all something for everybody. The DeLorean to be there.
It's almost going to be like a comic fair instead of a con.
I get them to move the rides to, and we'll have that next year.
Horse racing and everything.
Well, there actually is dog races going on the same weekend on the other side of the fair. So,
yeah, that is a great area. As a kid growing up, my family used to go to the Monroe County Fair every year, and it was a great fair. We loved going down there, especially the campground down in just down south of Dundee. The campground, that was always something we used to do every year. Anyways, let's talk about the guests that you have coming to your show this year. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, let me look at my flyer here. We got we're excited because this year we did a little different. We wanted to, not increase the guest list, but we wanted to have a wider variety of guests. So we have a wrestling section, professional wrestling section. We have a horror section. We have a voice actor section. We have a pop culture section. Then we have of course, my favorite, the comic book artist section. So this year, one of our biggest guests there, we're more excited to see because my wife is a big Halloween fan. So is Tony Moran, one of the original Michael Myers. So we're excited to see him. And then, of course, we got Stephanie Nadolny. She was the voice actor for Goku and Gohan, and I believe it was the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. So she got a lot of great characters for that. Martin Kleba's coming this year. I mean, Martin Kleba's just a great guy. He's a fun guy to be around. People are gonna love him from Pirates of the Caribbean or Caribbean.
He's got some great stories being on that.
Yeah, I hear some Johnny Depp stories.
Yeah.
But,
so, how do you go about finding these celebrity guests? What is the process of that like?
Honestly, over the last 4 years or so, they pretty much came to us. We haven't really had to go out and seek any guests. We turn away more guests than we actually let in, and so it's been kind of easy, really. I mean, we know we're going to bring Power Rangers in because I think there would be an uprising and people would hate us if we didn't bring Power Rangers in. So we actively look for Power Rangers. We can't pick and choose who we're going to bring in each year for that. But other than that, most of the time, agents are sending their client lists in, or like Martin wanted to come in, and I got a lot of friends like Rhino and Darren McCarty, and they want to come in. So it's getting easier. So I like that part.
So has the script flipped in a way with these celebrities where now they're looking to try to make extra money by doing these cons instead of you trying to reach out to them to draw people to your show?
I haven't noticed so much on my size show that happening, but it looks like the bigger shows that I see guests that I have never seen before doing cons and conventions and stuff where they with the extra money. For us, it's basically, we're gonna get the guests we get. I've had people say, why don't you get bigger guests? Why don't you get bigger guests? And I always respond, I like our guest list. So, I mean, that's the way it is. And people don't understand, the bigger the guest you get, the more money it's going to cost to get into the show. So, and we don't want to do that. So we keep it affordable for us and for the consumer. So
yeah, I've been hearing that Billy D. Williams wants like $250 at Motor City for an autograph, a picture. That is expensive.
on top of his $100,000 guarantee or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah. So, what guests would you like to have in the future that you could probably afford?
Okay, then I would say that I could afford. You got to make sure you specify that, because I'd like to have. There's a great guest I'd love to have, and I don't know. I mean, I like Derek Mears from the Friday the 13th. I think he was in Swamp Thing. I've heard from Tyler Maine that he's just a great guy, so we'd like to get him because we like the horror aspect of it. Put me on a spot. I don't know. I mean, every year it's different.
I'm an old school kind of guy. I love the older movies, and I would wish I could see some of the guys, like some of the actors that say we brought up Swamp Thing, the original Wes Craven directed Swamp Thing. I would like to see a few of the actors from that movie show up at cons.
Right.
There's a few guys in there that I would love to have seen that I used to see in a lot of the Italian splatter movies.
Let me write this down.
Yeah.
But, and another thing that's difficult is you want to get guests that, we try to anyways, that haven't been already in 5 shows in Michigan and Ohio already in the last year or two. So that's another thing that we have trouble doing it. Trust me, it's hard to find guests that aren't at every show, but we actively look for those guests. So we're actually having people request, hey, can I come to your show? I'd be interested to come to your show. If we see they've been at 2 or 3 other shows in Michigan or Ohio or even Windsor, it's like, well, maybe next year, but we kind of we want to keep it fresh for the fans too. So it's like, wow, I'd never seen her before. Like we had Princess Jenna from Conan. I mean, never seen her anywhere around here before. So we kind of try to keep it like that. It's hard, but we try to keep it fresh like that.
Give a shout out to some of your vendors that you have there. I know you said you wanted to have a little mix of the celebrity guests, but then you need to have a little mix of what the vendors are selling. Right. So tell us a little bit about, some of the vendors that you have going to be setting up at your show.
Well, we're going to have publishers like SourcePoint Press, Big Dog Inc., and stuff like that. And then we're also going to have the craft side of it. We're going to have Trashy Crafts, who makes these great little dolls, and I don't really know what you call them, but they're little dolls, little knitted dolls, and they're just wonderful looking. And then we got, of course, the artists, and we're going to have, this is to me weird. We had about 8 freeze-dried candy people inquire about coming out this year, which I've never even had one before in the previous 11. So So we're gonna actually have a freeze dried candy store up in the show this year.
Now, is those freeze dried candies? Is there sort of a comic book sci-fi theme to what?
Probably not. We try to tell them, they have stuff like that to make sure they incorporate it. But I think it's just going to be freeze dried candy, which is just we'll give it a shot. I think people like candy, like food. We go to the other cons and we see fudge and stuff like that. So, and then I just thought it was crazy having so many people doing it this year. So it must be the new thing. I don't know, but there's a lot of freeze dried candy companies out there. So we're gonna have some.
And of course, you're gonna have to have a fair share of actual comic book dealers there.
And that's the one thing we don't turn away. We turn away a lot of vendors, and the one thing we never turn away is comic book dealers. So, and we had to turn away a lot of craft dealers. We had to turn away a lot of not pop culture dealers. We had to turn away a 9 of the freeze dried candy dealers this year. But comic book dealers, toy dealers, we never really turn away. A lot of them end up on a wait list, but we never turn away if they're quick enough, because we sell out usually by March. So
let's give a little shout out to some of your favorite comic book dealers that you'll have setting up at the show.
Big Ben's, Wonder World Comics. We got Daggett's Comics. We got SNL Comics. You put me on a spot. We have 113 of them, so it's like I'm trying to think of all the vendors.
I'm friends with a lot of these comic book dealers, so I just like to give them a little shout out, because they're good guys.
Oh yeah. So no, I know all they're going to be there. There's a lot of people that I think Desmo's Collectibles Closet's going to be there, and he has a lot of graded comics. Marty Herchek, who runs his own.
Marty.
He's going to be there, and he's got tons of great comics and car and toys. And oh man, see, next time I need these questions prepped for
Fat Daddy's going to be there this year.
Who is that?
Fat Daddy's.
Fat Daddy's asked, and we already sold out, and they couldn't get an outdoor booth.
Oh, too bad. So, yeah. He's a good guy.
But yeah, he is on the wait list, and if something opens up in the next 8 days, he'll be one of the first. He'll be one of the first ones we call. So
yeah. How about Brad? Is Brad going to be there?
Brad will be there, of course. Yes, yeah. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble because you put me on the spot, and I can't remember everybody. Yes,
I can help you out with some of these comic book dealers if I just bring up their
names. Then.
Even though they're not going to be there, we just give them a shout out because these are some of the staples of the Michigan comic book,
arena.
There
wouldn't be Comic-Cons, so
exactly. No. All these guys, great guys.
Yeah, I do too.
Anyways, so where I don't know if we discussed it, but where do you see this show being in 10 years?
I don't know where I want to be in 10 years. I know I got maybe 3 or 4 years left where I can retire, then I can maybe concentrate on these shows. But right now, I work at Ford's full time, and I don't know. Hopefully, they just steadily keep. I can't see them getting any bigger. I don't know how we could. So I'm happy where we're at. Happy with the 2,500 people we get every year. I'm happy with the 130, 40 vendors we get every year. So I don't know. I don't have no ambition to be like the other big guys that wear suits every day. You
don't want to be a Michael Goldman.
I didn't say
that. Anyways, here's a question that I should have asked earlier. Obviously you're a fan of this culture and everything.
Oh, yeah.
What part of it are you a big fan of? What do you love about this culture? What particularly? Comics, wrestling? What is your main focus?
Oh, I love the wrestling too. So they have a wrestling promotion as well. But just about culture in general. I mean, just the fandom. It's rabid in a good way and a bad way, but it's still, it's amazing. People love their comic books. They love their superheroes. They love their toys or their genres or horror, and they just Star Wars, Star Trek. They just love on unconditionally their passions, and that's the best thing about it. Just seeing the families there enjoying themselves, and I mean from 70, 80 years old on down to 7 or 8 years old or 7 or 8 months old. And it's just something that an entire family can enjoy from generations all the way down, and it's fun to be part of it.
I don't know if we went into this deeply, but what are all the different events you got going on besides some of the things you explained that were outside? Inside, you must have cosplay contest and some of the other events. Tell us a little bit about that.
We'll have our cosplay contest. We have that every year. It's always a good time. It's fun. It's not a huge contest like some of the shows do where we're getting tens of thousands of dollars on prizes. You're going to get a couple $100s on prizes. You're going to have fun. You're going to dress up, and it's a good time. But we also have an eating competition. A Brain Jerk Entertainment provides an eating competition. Did it last year. People loved it. So we're going to do it again this year. I think this year is like a full course meal instead of just like how many hot dogs you can eat. This is like a full pie, 2 or 3 cheeseburgers, spicy chicken strips, and so that's out there. We'll have a cornhole tournament going on outside this year. We'll have, I believe there'll be some live music outside this year. We have panels. We have a horror panel, pro wrestling panel. It's slated, all day long, just fun little events here and there. And the main thing is get in there and shop. Check out those vendors, because without those vendors, we don't have a show.
People need to spend their money.
Spend your money. Bring some cash. Hope the Wi-Fi is good and put it on some debit. But yeah, spend some money. Enjoy yourself. Buy some Christmas presents. Perfect time to buy Christmas presents.
Time, yeah.
Monroe Pop Fest.
And with Halloween around the corner, it's a great time to dress up.
Perfect time. It's always a good time to dress up.
It makes it easier for people now that all these like Halloween stores are popping up now, so it's easier for them to go find the costumes they want to wear.
I know some of these costumes are amazing too. I mean, the ones that the store bought are great, but the ones that these people make, the handcrafted ones, that's talent.
We love talking to a lot of those people and asking them how they make their costumes, because it's so ingenious and creative on their behalf.
The thing I have to do, I'm learning what the characters are, because there's so many characters I have never seen before. Like, that's an amazing costume, and they'll tell me like it's from this movie or from this video game. Like, it's just awesome.
It boggles my mind how much is out there now, and it seems like 90% of those characters that I see at the shows I've never heard of.
Because we're getting old.
I'm getting old. Yeah. Anyways, Gary, I don't want to take up too much of your time. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and we thank you for coming on our show. And hopefully you have a successful show coming up next week, and that is September 15th and 16th at the Monroe Expo Center at the Fairgrounds on Custer Road in Monroe, Michigan. And we'll hope to see everyone there. Where can people get their tickets?
You can check us at www.monroepopfest.com/tickets. You can go to Our House Games on Monroe Street in Monroe, or you can buy them day of. So don't wait to get your VIP tickets day of, but you can get general admission tickets Friday or Saturday.
Thanks a lot, Gary.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.